Hello my friends. In this video I'm going to show you how to run Kotlin projects in Android Studio. Make sure you select projects from the welcome screen of Android Studio. Click on new project, select no activity. Don't select empty activity. We don't need to create an app development project. I need to create a no activity project. Click on next. Name the application whatever you want. So I will name it as Hello Kotlin. Again, Hello Kotlin 2. Select language Kotlin and select finish from the buttons. Wait for the Gradle and the Android Studio syncing processes to finish. And here we go. This is our application. If you notice that Android Studio will not open anything here, any file in the tab or document, neither XML nor Kotlin.kt. We go to Java folder here, and inside our project here, project package, I will create a new Kotlin class or file. I will select file and I will name it as Hello Kotlin. I will name it as Hello Kotlin. And here we go. This is our file, hello Kotlin.kt. You notice the extension KT. If there is a new message telling that it's a new version of Kotlin plugin, always install it and update Kotlin. I will click on it and waiting for the downloading for the plugins. And you can write the codes and run while downloading. So what is Kotlin? Kotlin is a modern trending programming language that was released in 2016 by JetBrains. It has become very popular since it's compatible with Java, one of the most popular programming languages out there, which means that Java code and libraries can be used in Kotlin programs. Kotlin is used for mobile applications, especially Android applications. That's what we are going to build through this course. Web development, server-side applications, data science, and much more. So why Kotlin? Why we are using Kotlin? Kotlin is fully compatible with Java. Kotlin works on different platforms, Windows, Mac, Linux, Raspberry Pi, and etc. Kotlin is concise and safe. Kotlin is easy to learn, especially if you already know Java. Kotlin is free to use and big community and support. So this is a quick recap about the Kotlin. Now we are waiting for Android Studio to configure the project and download the plugins for the new version of Kotlin. So I want to mention one very important note. If we want to increase the size of the IDE and the editor, you can go to settings, file settings. You can go to editor, general, and click on this. Make sure that you tick this option, move code fragments with drag and drop, and change font size with Ctrl plus mouse wheel. This is for zooming, and this is to copy and hold Ctrl while dragging. Click OK, and if you want to test it, you can scroll your mouse and Ctrl, so you can zoom in and out. Okay, let's go back to the Kotlin syntax. We have created this hello Kotlin.kt file. I will start by typing function, fun, main, and open two parentheses, print ln hello Kotlin developers. let's run the project by clicking on this function, green triangle. And don't worry, we're gonna talk about and in details in the next videos. So don't worry, just follow me. And we have this output. If scroll control and the mouse wheel, hello Kotlin developers. And congratulations guys, you've succeeded in creating this very first Kotlin project in Android Studio. So this is how we run Kotlin projects in Android Studio. I want from you now to get your copybook and start writing the notes that I will mention in the next videos. So congratulations. Let's start diving into the syntax and into the Kotlin. In this video, we're gonna talk about Kotlin syntax. In the previous video, we created a Kotlin file called hello-kotlin.kt, and we used the following code to print hello Kotlin developers to the screen. Let's dive into the syntax of this code. Let's start by the function. The fun keyword, we use this fun in orange color. The fun keyword is used to declare a function. A function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task. In this example, it declares the main function. So what is the main function? The main function is something you will use in every Kotlin program. This function is used to execute code. Any code inside the main function's curly brackets will be executed. Okay? This is a concept I want from you to understand. The println method. For example, the println method or function is inside the main function, meaning that this will be executed. I told you that everything inside the main method will be executed. And the println is a line that it's found present inside the main method. Hello, my friends. In this video, I'm going to talk about Kotlin output or printing text in Kotlin. The println function is used to output values and print text in Kotlin. In the example that we have created before and the project, we have used println and we specify here the message that we need to display for the user. If we hit this green triangle and we run it, we see that the message hello Kotlin developers will be printed out for the user. This is how we output, how we print text in Kotlin. Okay? You can add as many println functions as you want. Note that it will add a new line for each function. I will show you. Hello Java developers. Hello app developers, and so on. If we run the project, we see that these messages are printed out. You can also print numbers and perform mathematical calculations using the println. Okay, so I will remove this text. I will use 4 plus 6. If I run the program, it will give me 10. Okay, you understand it, guys? You can make mathematical calculations here. The print function. There is also a print function, not println, print function, which is similar to println. The only difference is that it does not insert a new line at the end of the output. For example, If I want to print here, I will use print message, not print function, not print ln. Hello, my friends. If I put here another print, hey, and I will use bye. If I run the project, it will print all of these messages on the same line. So it will start by printing this, then it uses this and uses this to be printed out on the screen. So you see, guys, that the only difference between println and the print function is that it does not insert a new line at the end of the output. In this video, I'm going to talk about Kotlin comments. Comments can be used to explain Kotlin code and to make it more readable. It can also be used to prevent execution when testing alternative code. We have two types of comments. The single line comments. Single line comments start with 2 forward slashes. So for example, I want here to say that print a function that will print just a welcoming screen. So I will put welcome message here, just a welcome message. This is a comment telling us that I used this for printing a message, a welcome message. Any text between the 2 forward slashes and the end of the line is ignored by Kotlin and will not be executed. So if I run the program here, nothing will be executed, only the print function. This is not readable. This is ignored by Kotlin. Also, you can use a single line comment at the end of the line of the code. So I can make like this, another comment or single line comment. Okay, if I run the program, it's the same. These 2 comments will be ignored by Kotlin. The second type of comments is the multi-line comments. Multi-line comments start with the forward slash and the asterisk and ends with asterisk and forward slash. Any text between these 2 shapes, I'll show you. This is the forward slash and the asterisk, and the asterisk and the forward slash. Any text inside or between them will be ignored. Hello, this is a multi-line comment. It will be ignored by Kotlin. Okay, it's very simple. If I run the program, it will be ignored and it will execute the print function. These are the comments. These are the types of comments in Kotlin that is used to make the code more readable and explain the Kotlin code and prevent execution when testing alternative code. Hello, my friends. In this video, I'm going to talk about Kotlin variables. Variables are containers for storing data values. To create a variable, use var or val keywords and assign a value to it with the equal sign. Let me show you. I will create a comment here for the variables. Var and the variable name equal to value. This is the general syntax of creating a variable var. For the val, variable name equal to the value. I want from you to open your copybook and start typing and writing these nodes, because they are very important. Okay, guys, these are the general form of creating variables in Kotlin. I will start creating my first variable. So following this formula, I will create a var variable called name equal to John. And I will create a val following this general formula. I will name it as age equal to 27. The only difference between var and val is that the variable declared with var keyword can be changed or modified, while val cannot. So var is variable, val is like values or constant variable. Okay, think about it. Constant value, and this can be changed later on. Okay, we'll talk about each of these variables in deep. So let's start by printing out these variables. I will show you. I can make hello space and use the concatenation sign here as a plus sign, and we specify the variable that I need to print. If I run the program, it will give me hello John. It will print this constant part in green, and the concatenation sign, which is used to join the two strings, and the name, which is f-type string. Okay, later on we will see the data types and the operators. So I want from you to understand this topic, and we will move on later on and deep dive into these data types and operators. Unlike many other programming languages, variables in Kotlin do not need to be declared with a specified type, like string for text or int for numbers, if you are familiar with those. To create a variable in Kotlin that you should store text and another that should store a number, you need to create like this variable, and I can make like this. This is for string and this is for numbers. Okay, this is as a string used for the text. Think about strings as text for now, and this is for as an int variable, and this is a number. Okay, in the next video we're gonna talk about data types, and we will see these data types, what are they, and when and why we'll use it. Okay, Kotlin is smart enough to understand that John is a string and 27 is an integer number variable. However, it's possible to specify the type if you insert here 2 points or the column string. I can specify here the type of the variable. Also, I can specify here of type integer. Okay, but you can use and specify the type, and you cannot. Kotlin will identify this type of these types of variables automatically. You can also declare a variable without assigning the value and assign the value later. However, this is only possible when you specify the type. For example, I will create a var. I will name it as city, and I need now to specify its type. Okay, I'm not assigning. This is the assigning operator, the equal sign. I will not assign its value directly here. In the second line, I will set the city is equal to London. Okay, you see guys how I assign the value in the next line. You can create a variable like this, and you can create a variable like this in Kotlin. Now, let me talk about val. When you use a variable with the val keyword, the value cannot be changed or reassigned. The following example will generate an error. So if I create age equal to 30. Okay, I am reassigning, I am redefining and changing the value from 27 to 30. If I hover the mouse, I will get an error. Val cannot be reassigned. Okay, when using the var, you can change the value whenever you want. So I will use var, the name equal to Jack. Okay, so here we don't have any errors. Here we have this error because var can be changed, val don't be or cannot be changed. Okay, so this is the importance of understanding these types of variables. So when to use val? The val keyword is useful when you want a variable to always store the same value. For example, if you are creating a calculator, or if you are developing a game, you need to create a val, for example, called pi, which is equal to 3.14, 15, 92, and so on. Okay, so this is pi. This is the pi sign in mathematics, and it's not changing by any developer or user, and it's constant. So 3.14, 15 is the constant value of the val. Okay, so we use val when we have when you want a variable to always store the same value. Like you have seen with the examples later in the previous videos, we use the print or println to display the variables. So I can print these variables. So I can put here pi, I can display hello and the variable val. Hello 3.14, I'm displaying the value. I can display the name here. So hello Jack. So you see guys, name was John, and then it becomes a Jack, and we print it here. So you also use the plus sign character to add a variable to another variable. Okay, so for example, name2, I will create var name2 equal Smith. Okay, I can join these two variables. This is done by name plus name2. If I run the program, I can get that this is the variable name Jack, and this is the second variable Smith is joined together with one word. And for the numeric values, the plus sign character works as a mathematical operator. I can add 4 plus 6, for example. I will get the result 10, and also I can add the variables. If I create here var x equal to 6 and var y equal to 10, if I add x plus y, then it will give us 16. Okay, so according to the type of the variables you are concatenating and you are adding, the plus sign operator will work. For strings, it will add the strings together by joining the strings in one string. And for variables, in numerical variables, it will make the operation, the addition operation. Okay? So this is all about the variables. I should mention one important note about the variable names. A variable can have a short name like x or y, or more descriptive name, age, sum, total volume, and others. The general rule for Kotlin variables are names can contain letters, digits, underscores, and $sign. Names should start with a letter. Names can also begin with the $sign and underscore. Names are case sensitive. My var here, or variable here, x, is different from a capital X variable. Okay? Names should start with lowercase letter and cannot contain white space. So var, the small letter, and I can make like this, equal to 200. I can make the variable name like this. Reserved word like Kotlin keywords such as var or string cannot be used as names. So I cannot create a variable with the name string, for example. Okay? This is a very important notes about the variables and how to create variables in Kotlin. In the next video, we're going to talk about the data types. Hello, my friends. In this video, I'm going to talk about Kotlin data types. In Kotlin, the type of a variable is decided by its value. However, you learned from the previous video that it's possible to specify the type if you want. Sometimes you have to specify the type, and often you don't. Anyway, it's good to know the different types and variable data types in Kotlin. So, the Kotlin data types are divided into two main groups: primitive and non-primitive data types. Primitive contains the integer, floating point number, characters, and Boolean data types, while non-primitive contains strings, array, classes, and etc. Primitive data types includes byte, short, int, long, float, double, Boolean, and char or character. Non-primitive data types such as strings, arrays, classes, and so on. You'll learn more about this in a later video and when we talk about object-oriented programming. Let's look into the Java or Kotlin primitive data types. First of all, let's start with the byte. The byte data type can store whole numbers from -128 to 127. This can be used instead of int or other integer types to save memory when you are certain that the value will be within -128 and 127. Its size is 1 byte. The short data type can store whole numbers from this number to this number. I want from you to write these down on your copybook and understand the difference between these variables. The int data type can store whole numbers from this number to this positive number. Its size is 4 bytes. The short is 2 bytes. The byte is 1 byte. You see the difference? It's in terms of memory and size. The long data type can store whole numbers from this number, from negative this number to this positive number. This is used when the int is not large enough to store the value. Optionally, you can end the value with an L letter. We will see it in the practice in the IDE when we talk about these numbers. Float. The difference between floats and numbers, that float, which is a float or double, can accept a decimal. So floating point types represent numbers with a decimal, such as 9.9, 3.14, and so on. The float and double data types can store fractional numbers. Okay? So the float stores fractional numbers sufficient for storing 6 to 7 decimal digits, and its size is 4 bytes, while the double stores fractional numbers sufficient for storing 15 decimal digits. Its size is 8 bytes. The Booleans. The Boolean data type its size is 1 bit. You see the difference, guys? I want from you to concentrate on this size. 1 bit stores true or false values. Boolean values are mostly used for conditional testing, which you will learn later on. The car. The car data type, the characters data type, is used to store single character. A car or char value must be surrounded by single quotes like A, C, capital C, and so on. Later on we will see it. Unlike Java, you cannot use ASCII values to display certain characters. The value 66 would be output a B in Java, but it will generate an error in Kotlin. Right? We will see it in the next videos. Okay? Let's talk about the non-primitive types. Non-primitive types are created by the programmer, and it's not defined by Java or Kotlin, except for string. Non-primitive types can be used to call methods to perform certain operations, while primitive types cannot. A primitive type has always a value, while non-primitive types can be null. A primitive type starts with a lowercase letter, while non-primitive type starts with an uppercase letter, and we see it in strings. The size of primitive type depends on the data type, while non-primitive types have all the same. Examples of non-primitive types are strings, arrays, classes, interface, and etc. And you will learn more about these in a later chapter and later section. Don't worry, we are going to see all of these data types in action in the next video. Hello, my friends. Numbers in Kotlin are divided into two groups, the integer types and the floating point types. In this video, I'm going to talk about the integer types. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the decimal or the floating point types. Integer types store whole numbers, positive or negative, without decimals. The valid types are byte, short, int, and long. Let's start with the byte. The byte data type can store whole numbers from -128 to 127. This is used instead of integer or other integer types to save memory when you are certain that the value will be within this range. So in order to create the byte, let me make a comment here. The byte, its range is from -128 to 127. Starting by val or var, whatever you want. I will make it as b, and you can make here the data type byte equal to 100. I can print this variable by specifying it directly. If I run the program now, it will give me 100. So I printed the variable b of type byte. What happens if I exceeds the range, if I put 130? There is an error here telling me that the integer literal does not conform to the expected type byte. So it's out of the range. If I put 1 to 7, it will accept. 1 to 8 will refuse. Okay? This is about the byte. This is how we create the byte variable. Let's create the second type, which is the short. The short variable will be used to store whole numbers from this number to this number. I can create the short exactly as a val or var, as specifying the type short equal to 7,000. I can print as, let me show you, and here we go. We have 7,000. Okay, this is about the short. The integer. How to create the integers. Integers. The int data type can store whole numbers from this number to this number. It's used to store variables and numbers between these numbers in this range. Okay, so in order to create an int, I start by val I of type integer or int, used in Kotlin, you see, equal the assigned. Okay, I can print I. Okay, I will remove this, run the program, and here we go. We printed the integer I. The fourth type of numbers is called long. The long data type can store whole numbers from this number to this number. Okay? So, this is used when int is not large enough to store the value. Optionally, you can end the value with al. So in order to create val of type long, I will name it as al. I will specify its type as long equal to this number, and I will end it with capital L. Print L. Let me run. And here we go. This is our number. So I prefer, when using long data type, to end it with L, capital L word. The difference between int and long. The whole number is an int as long as it's up to this range. If it goes beyond that, it's defined as long. Okay, I should mention it for you. So for example, if I put here this number, this is an integer. If I exceed it by 1, it becomes a long. so I should define it as long. Okay, this is a very important point about the difference between long and integers. So these are the four numbers, the four data types that they are included in the group of numbers. Hello, my friends. We saw in the previous video the four types of numbers. In this video, I'm going to talk about the decimal numbers, the float and double. Floating point types represent numbers with a decimal, such as 9.9, 38.14, and so on. The float and double data types can store fractional numbers. Let's start by creating the variables of type float and doubles. Okay, so here I will create a variable of float, val f 2 points, or the column. I will specify the type float equal to 3.1415. This is the pi in mathematics. So there is a very important note here that I should mention. If I hover the mouse here over the error, I'll get an error telling me the floating point literal does not conform to the expected data type float. What is the solution? Is to add the capital F at the end of this float. Later on, I will discuss it in this video. But till now, please concentrate with me how to create the floats and how to print them. This is the print method. I specify F, and here I missed the print L from the previous video. And here we go. We are printing the float. In order to create another type of decimals, which is the double, I will create val d of type double equal to 990.4. You see, guys, that there is no need to put d or f here or any letter, because it will get it directly as a double. Print d, I will print this double, and here we go. We have this data. Okay, this is very important thing that I should mention for the float, that if you are going to create a float, you should put f here, exactly like long, but long is optional to put L here. We see that here when making integers int, we see that it is long and no need to put L here. Okay, but in float it's mandatory to end it with F. Hello, my friends. In this video I'm gonna talk about booleans. Very often in programming you will need a data type that can only have one of two values, like yes or no, on or off, true or false. For this, Kotlin has a Boolean data type which can take the values true or false. A Boolean type can be declared with the Boolean keyword and can only take the values true or false. Let me go to here. I remove this print and I will create a comment here. This is for the booleans. In order to create a boolean, we start by val, following the variable declaration and assignment formula. And here we put the name of the variable is Kotlin fun, column, boolean, type equal to true. Okay, so you can see there are two types. If I click on Control and space, there are two types of or two values of this variable, true or false. Okay, print again is Kotlin fun. If I run it, it will give me the value of this. If I change it to false again, and it will give me false. Okay, just like you've learned with the other data types with the previous videos. This example also written without specifying the type. So I can make like this, run the program. Kotlin will detect automatically that is Kotlin fun variable is of type Boolean. Let's talk about something interesting, which is a Boolean expression. A Boolean expression returns a Boolean value, either true or false. You can use a comparison operator such as greater than operator to find if the expression true or false. For example, this is for Boolean, and this is for Boolean expressions. I will create a variable x, val y equal to 5, print x greater than y. This will return it true because 10 is greater than 5. If we run the program, it will give me true. If I change it to less than, it will give me false. This is a Boolean expression which returns either true or false. So that the result of this comparison will return either true or false. Okay? Also, you can see the assignment operator equal to, later on we'll talk about the operators. We'll see all of these comparison operators. Okay, it will return false because 10 is not equal to 5. You see, this is the Boolean expressions. And this is how we create a Boolean variable inside Kotlin programming languages. Hello, my friends. In this video, I'm going to talk about the last primitive data type, which is characters. The character data type is used to store a single character. A char value must be surrounded by single quotes, like capital A or small c. For example, I start by val, my grade equal, before I will assign it as a car, equal to B. If I put another letter, it will not accept it because it accepts only one letter. If I want to print this char, I use print. And here it will print for me the character. Okay? This is how we can create a character variable in Kotlin. Unlike Java, you cannot use ASCII values to display certain characters. The value 66 would output a B in Java. So if I put 66 here in Java, it will accept it and it will print B. But in Kotlin, it will generate an error telling that the integer literal does not conform the expected type char. This is how we can create the character data type in